lioness, and I want to roar as that phenomenal lioness. We must not be shy about telling our own stories. For too long, the African woman has been the backstory. Some of us might be aware, and I'm in the medical profession. We have always celebrated a Caucasian nurse, Florence Nightingale. But at the same time that Florence Nightingale was treating soldiers in the war front, we had Mary Seacole. Mary Seacole, a Black woman of African origin, was treating soldiers in the Crimean War. And yet for an entire century, nothing was said about her. But thankfully, historians have dug out the truth about Mary Seacole. A lot of us in school grew up reading and memorizing Shakespeare. But Shakespeare had a lady called Amelia Bassano Lanier in his life, who is said to have been one of his ghostwriters. Another woman of African origin. African women have been in the forefront, but either we form the backstory, or history forgets us, or people rewrite history. If I say about women, people will say riot. No, it was the About Women protest. But the colonial leaders of the time decided to put an appellation of riot to that incredible, phenomenal outing by women, to give it a violent slant. So here's my story. I'm a physician, and I can associate with you closely because I did a master's in human rights and democratization, including international law. So I can call myself an honorary or associate member of AULA. As the current international president of the Medical Women's International Association, I am the first Nigerian to attain this position in its 100-year history. This association started in 1919. It was at a time soon after the Spanish flu, very much like the COVID-19 flu. But at that time, female doctors were looking for an association that would bring them together. Even what they were wearing in theater, for example, was made for men. I was able to rise through the ranks. Sorry, can I ask the host? Somebody has unmuted themselves and is interrupting, please. Thank you very much. So I started at state level in Enugu State, rose to be national president, served on international committees, and I went for elections to be international president in 2016 in Austria. I did not win those elections, but I won the hearts of our members. And in 2019, 3 years later, I was elected unopposed as president-elect in New York. And the rest is history. Now I want to take you through state-level laws, national laws, and international laws, and to see how AULA can have impact. In the course of my work as a medical doctor, I came across the harmful practice against widows in the southeast of Nigeria. I kept asking questions. Why are women asked to drink the bath water in which their deceased husbands had been washed? They said it was a taboo subject. And I was burdened because I kept asking questions and couldn't get answers. My curiosity led me to carry out an independent research in 4 southeastern states at the time: Abia, Anambra, Enugu, and Imo. And I had the opportunity to present these findings at The Hague in the Netherlands. And I summarized my findings as the 3 Ds: disinheritance, dethronement, a situation where a girl is enthroned by virtue of marriage. And when her husband dies, she's dethroned. At that time, widows were being made to sit on the floor or on the bare earth. The third D, defacement, that a woman was not allowed to look beautiful if she lost her husband, because her beauty was meant only for her husband. And if he had died, she was not expected to bath, comb her hair, look colorful and unkempt. Whereas grief is on the inside and not on the outside. I had the opportunity to find like-minded, courageous women, and we started the Widows Development Organization. Angela Otaluka, Pat Okoye, Patience Ivechika of blessed memory. In 1997, we were still under military rule. It was a colleague of yours, Barrister Mrs. Sule Aman, who appointed the Enugu State Widows Welfare Committee, and I was appointed as the chairman. We had people like late Obi Nwodo on that committee. Our task was to find out how prevalent the practices were in Enugu State, and we came out with a report. Guess what? Thanks to courageous colleagues of yours, people like Professor Joy Ezilo, thanks to people in journalism, like the president at the time, Miriam Menkiti, we were able together on the 8th of March to work with the then State House of Assembly, because by this time we had come into democratic dispensation. People like Barrister Margaret Nwabo, the first law on the prohibition on the infringement of widows came into force. But we had a majorly male assembly, and they slipped in the word widowers. So the African woman has the power of convening and collaboration. Guess what I did behind the scenes? I had the opportunity to go to Australia. I presented the fact that we now had a widow's law. And I got the governor of New South Wales to write to the then governor of Enugu State, Chimaroke, congratulating him on the state bill and requesting him to expeditiously sign the law. That letter was published in the local papers in 2001, and the state governor signed the law. That's the tenacity of the African woman. I had the opportunity, thanks to a visit by Princess Anne, the daughter of the Queen, to talk about widows' rights, and I was invited to make a presentation at the House of Commons. That culminated in another colleague of yours, Cherie Blair, QC, a lawyer and wife to the then Prime Minister of UK, invited me alongside a famous widow, the wife of one of the Beatles, Yoko Ono. We were co-presenters at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in the UK. Roll forward by 2010, on the 23rd of June, with the help of Cherie Blair, today we have a United Nations Day called National Widows Day. As I go on to the national level very quickly, we participated in legislative advocacy alongside LACVAO and started with the Violence Against Women's Bill. From the 4th Assembly, all the way to the 7th Assembly as part of the legislative advocacy. What did we do? When I had the opportunity of a grant from Global Fund for Women, I traveled all the way from Enugu to Abuja to hold a legislative advocacy outing at the National Assembly. Roll forward. When we then got to the 7th Assembly in 2015, I invited a Nollywood star, Stephanie Okereke, to speak to the legislators about vesico-vaginal fistulae because of her movie called Dry. I had the opportunity on a DFID-funded program to support, alongside the GTU, IPAS, through NSRP, we were able to support the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Remember, it started as the Violence Against Women Act, but bill, but it changed to Violence Against Persons Prohibition. That again shows our resilience. I made a personal visit to the then Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu. I said, you have to pass this bill. He happened to be presiding in the Senate at 11:43 on the morning of the 14th of May, 2015, and the Senate approved the report from the committee. Even when the Minister for Women Affairs, I called her, I said, has the Mr. President signed? She said, I've been waiting all day. I said, you have to wait for Nigerian women. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan signed the VAP Act on the 25th of May, 2015. Today, 26 states have passed the bill. And I didn't stop there. I kept on working with Abia State, my home state. On the 1st of October last year, our governor signed it into law. I am telling these stories because these are backstories, and unless you tell your story, somebody else will tell it differently. We must not be shy of telling our stories. As I end, I am co-founder of the Every Woman Treaty. We are advocating for a global treaty to end every form of violence on earth. When I led the team of experts to the 4 countries affected by Boko Haram, I was in Chad, I was in Niger, I was in the north of Cameroon and northeast of Nigeria. In the north of Cameroon, what they call extreme north, I saw breast ironing, where parents are using hot stones to press on the chest of their girls at puberty to make them look like men so that they would not be abducted by Boko Haram. In the course of my work, I've seen child widows, children who have been married, and Boko Haram kills their husbands, and they end up as child widows. Then they're married by Boko Haram. And when the Nigerian army succeeds in killing their Boko Haram husbands, they become widowed again as children. And some of them carrying children. In our UNICEF study, they were called bad blood. Children born by children to Boko Haram being called bad blood because of stigma. Time has come. Aula, you have a voice, you have the convening power, you're phenomenal African women, you're tenacious. I've only told a little of my story. Add your voice. Make sure that that voice is loud and clear. As I round up, are you aware, for example, that, as I've said, we've spoken of legal reform at state level, at national level, but do you know that when a law is passed, there is a 2% reduction of violence every single year? As I speak to you now, 72% of countries on earth do not have a prohibition on marital rape. So we need our lawyers, judges, magistrates, doctors, responders to be trained. In Guatemala, Any pregnancy below the age of 14 is called rape. You can add your voice to the laws in your country. Any pregnancy below the age of 14 in Guatemala is labeled rape. Then we need services, hotlines. You can come in by way of hotlines. The first regional convention, the Bellum de Para in Latin America, is because there were 3 million calls for legal action. Violence prevention education is important so that we can get rid of the negative masculinities. We must have increased funding. It is ridiculous that the entire development aid, all the aid money put together today that goes towards preventing violence against women translates to 11 cents per female. Yet, right now, WHO tells us that 1 in 3 women and girls suffer violence. There are 30-something of us on the call. Every third of us has suffered one form of violence or the other. And yet, aid money is only 11 cents per female per year. So we need to ensure that there is adequate funding, that there's data and monitoring. In the context of COVID-19, there was an exponential rise in violence, what we called a pandemic within a pandemic. Lastly, as I conclude, we must realize that we have regional conventions. In Africa, we have the Maputo. I spoke of the Bellum de Para in Latin America, Istanbul in Europe. But all those 3 regional conventions, my dear friends, cover only 25% of women on earth. We have a beautiful convention on discrimination, the CEDAW Convention. But in its 20 years of existence, the CEDAW Committee has addressed 14 cases of violence from Europe, and the other 4 have come from outside Europe. So it is less than 1 case per year of violence that CEDAW has addressed. And therefore, CEDAW is perfect for discrimination, but it's not going to do anything for the young girl who has suffered breast ironing in Cameroon, or female genital mutilation, or the young girl who is having to sell her body for food in an IDP camp. So Aula, you have a huge role to play. The safety of every woman and girl is key to unlocking her potential. You need to speak to your government. All African women and women across the world speak to their governments to call for a global treaty to end violence against women and girls. Today, we have a tobacco treaty. So no matter where you board a plane in the world, the smoking that used to happen on aircrafts at the back, you don't see smoking in an aircraft anymore because there's a global tobacco treaty. Time has come for us to have a global treaty to end every form of violence against women and girls. Thank you for listening. Madam Chair, I have so much more to say. Should I continue? I don't hear anybody on the line.
The host, please go on. Please go on. Please go on.
Yes, I wanted to just hail our speaker. and say that we stand tall for what you do and what you continue to do. There's no better word to describe you than to say that you're an Amazon. There are different words. You're beautiful inside and out. And this is not a vote of thanks, but it's just me being overawed with what you have said so far. And I know you that you have a lot more, except that we gave a time frame within which you have to do your presentation. You are definitely one of us. You are an Orland. You're an honorary Orland, clearly. But more particularly, I want to say that you have given us a template of which we can use to move forward. And I'm pleased that our three presidents are right here with us. We do have a template from you. We cannot deny that. You have shown us the way forward. We will keep trudging on. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you. I'll hand over back to the moderator, our Gloria, who is the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. And let me join our chairperson to say thank you, Doc, for telling us your story. All participants would agree with me that the 3Ds are still here with us. So we would keep speaking up, and that includes in the political space. So our next topic will be serving as a voice. Hello, can you hear me?
Thank you for being there for us. For coming back.
Hello.
At the right
Hello, can we mute our mics?
We do, they have taken care of that for us.
So our next topic will be women in politics, securing our seats at the table. And to take that will be Barrister Dr. Nnenna Anozie. She is the chairperson, League of Women Voters of Nigeria. Barrister Dr. Nnenna Anozie is a legal practitioner, an associate of Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, former customary court chairman, chairperson, League of Women Voters of Nigeria Enugu chapter, the former governorship candidate of Fresh Democratic Party in the 2019 elections, an ordained deaconess, a public
Hello. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello. Okay.
We can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I think I can come in now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, great Orlans and all our invited guests. I appreciate us for having me. You will please permit me, I was told I have just 15 minutes to make the presentation. So you permit me to just stand on the existing protocol that's been established by our chairperson, the committee chairperson. I've been asked to speak on women in politics, securing our seat at the table. I want to start by saying that it's possible for an African woman to secure her seat at the table. When Dr. Elena was talking, our committee chairperson, she made mention that women are no longer to be known for just belonging to the kitchen and the other room. You remember our president, the president of Nigeria once said, I think in 2016, that women belong to the kitchen and the other room. But unfortunately for us, we are no longer there. We have moved to the table.
Please, we can't hear her. We can't hear the speaker.
She's been unmuted. She's been unmuted. Okay, she's muted again. Please, Prof, unmute the speaker.
Hello.
We can hear you now. We can hear
Can you
you
hear me
now.
now?
Yes, we can. Please go on, Ma.
Yes, I said it's possible for an African woman to secure her seat at the table. And I tried to do that in 2019. I wanted to secure my own table. And so I contested for the governorship of Enugu State, Nigeria, under Fresh Democratic Party. That opened my eyes to a lot of things. I had wanted to just write up something and begin to talk about the obstacles, way forward and all that. But I said it would be nice if I share a little bit of my experience during this period of election in Nigeria. We all know that in Africa, women are highly underrepresented. It's so clear. We are not going to talk more on that because if we keep talking about our problems without proffering solutions, without even doing anything about it, our problems will continue to stare at us. So I decided to walk the talk. I joined a political party. I became a member and then started being part of what was happening in the political party. Unfortunately for us, our party was among the minor parties. In my state, in Nigeria, Enugu State, we have a major political party, which is PDP. And this party is, in fact, if you come to the state, it's like we are practicing a one-party system. And so it was very difficult for anybody, any other person from any political party to come out, not to talk of emerging. But in the face of that glaring challenge, I still decided to take the bull by the horn. I decided to be part of the game. And when the campaign started, I discovered that a lot of you were looking at me as if I was insane. First of all, you're a woman, your political party is relatively unknown in the country, and you're contesting. But something kept pushing me. And what was that? That an African woman, a Nigerian woman, needs to move from where she was to the next level. She needs to come out from obscurity to the limelight. That was what kept pushing me. I wanted to prove to our younger girls, to every girl child, that whatever you dream, whatever you envision, whatever you think can be actualized. And so when I started meeting so many obstacles, challenges here and there, and in fact, it got to a point that my chairman, my political party chairman said, "Madam, to tell you the truth, you know that you're not going to win. This is how it is done. This is how we play the game. At certain point, you just step down and then we move on." And I saw other contestants from different parties stepping down. In fact, at the time, they said, let's form a coalition. Let's form a coalition. I said, okay, with a coalition, maybe we'll have more voice. But with the coalition, they said, let us all step down. And I refused. At the time, I became the only woman contestant in the state. In fact, I was surprised that the Guardian newspaper of 9th March recorded that over 70 women vied for governorship in 25 states in Nigeria. And then I was one of them. In fact, in the front page, I was number one. I said to myself, I was encouraged. I said, okay, that means if an African girl child, if an African woman can just take a bold step, there's a future. If that woman can just take a bold step to dare the status quo, to challenge the status quo, she can actually make a point. And that was it. We started doing our campaigns, branded car, billboard here and there. But at the end, what happened? I started those challenges that people were telling me when I was going for campaigns. You meet some people, some group of people, they are looking at you, they want money. Some of them will tell you to your face, "Madam, it's not yet time for women. A woman cannot lead in Africa." Those of them leading like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, you can see that that country is not as large as some other African countries. Taking Nigeria, for instance, Nigeria is the giant of Africa. You can't talk of a woman being the governor, not to talk of being the president. And they were just trying to discourage me. But I refused. I refused because I was tired of the way women have been treated in Africa, especially as regarding leadership. Those things started playing clearly to me. I came to the church. My husband is a pastor. When I came to the church, I was told that they will pray for me, but during the voting period, they didn't vote. Nobody voted. And that was so discouraging. But I was not discouraged. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm still pushing. Because we need to secure our seat at the table. How are we going to do that? We must conquer those obstacles. We know there are obstacles. They don't believe in women leadership. All over Africa, and in Nigeria in particular, they don't believe that women is ripe for women to lead in any political. They can be appointed women ministers, commissioners, and all that, but not to be the governor, not to be at the forefront. And that is what I think what we are celebrating today in the International Day of African Women should focus on. How do we take women out from the background where we have been relegated to the forefront, to that seat where we belong? How do we do that? Not minding those challenges, because we can't come and start recounting those challenges like gender discrimination, traditional gender roles that are assigned to women and all of that. We cannot continue. Lack of finance. I know there's no money, we need money. Like, for instance, in Africa, okay, let me be talking about Nigeria, where I participated. If you don't have money, definitely, with the way the system is politically, it will be very difficult for women in politics to secure that seat we are talking about. But with our efforts, with our joint efforts, do you know, when I was campaigning, one of the major obstacles I faced were women. Most women didn't believe in me. They didn't believe. They will tell you, Madam, sister, we love you, you're a good woman, but I don't think it's time. Can you stand the violence? Can you stand the money politics? Can you stand this? Can you stand that? They kept telling me. Okay, but I told them, if we keep hiding and hiding at the background, that is where we always belong. Nobody will be ready to give us power. Power is not given, it's taken. And how do we take this power? We take the power by coming out. We take the power by joining. The experience I gathered from participating in politics made me to know that many women are still far behind, and that is why it has not been possible, or it has not been easy. Even some appointments that they are giving to women, they are just minor roles. They are just minor roles. So I discovered that we have not even started learning the art of politics. And men play on this. They use this, to intimidate us, because, we even to listen to news, some women, we are not ready to know what is happening in the country. Some of us don't belong to any political parties. Some of us don't believe in politics, maybe because of our religion. I told us I gathered a lot of experience when I was contesting. The church doesn't believe that a Christian should lead. That the mosque doesn't believe that the Muslim doesn't believe that a Muslim should lead. Some of them will tell you that because you're a woman, you are married, you should be under your husband. You should be under your husband. So it was really, really, really discouraging, but I kept pushing. So I want to see an African woman who will look out from himself herself, who will look inward and see the abilities in her, and then move into the system. Because if we are outside the system, we can never secure that seat. We need to move into the system. All right? How do we move into the system? Get involved. Register. Register in one of the, if it's possible for you to register in the main political parties of your country, of your state, please do. Get involved. If they are paying dues, pay your dues. They are calling for meetings. One of them asked me, but women, you are crying, you want to be in the political space, you want to be given a seat and all that. When we are doing our night meetings, will you be part? I said, we go to vigils to pray at night. So why can't you be part of the meetings? There was a meeting that the governor of the state called one time that ended at about 1 a.m. I was there. In fact, I was the only woman there in that meeting. And at the end of the meeting, I drove my car and came back. And the men with us in the meeting, they were like, wow, this woman. I said, those were the things they have been using, to discourage us from participating effectively. And for as long as you're not ready to leave down your comfort zone, for as long as you're not ready to make a shift, to make a move from where you belong, you keep on being appointed. Okay, just recently, last week, we were told that in my state, Enugu State, 68 administrators of development centers were appointed. And out of these 68, only one woman was among the appointees. And of course, we protested. We went to the governor of the state. And guess what he said? He said, women cannot, that with this security in the country, women cannot do much. These admins, they need to be in the village, in their hometowns. They work with vigilante. And who says a woman, you need to present yourself as capable. An African woman is capable. She's multitasking. It doesn't matter who she is or what she is at the time, or even the circumstances around that, because some of them even want to shame you because you're a divorcee, because you are a widow, because you don't have money. No, it's for an African woman to rise up and challenge the status quo by being part of the system. We need, the way the men who say they have godfathers, we should also have godmothers. We need women we can look up to and see them as people, who can guide us. They have made it. So they are ready to train the younger ones. They are ready to show us the way. Not those of them you come to and say, Mama, I want to be part of this. So I want to know. They are busy, trying to shield you from coming close. They are so high-handed that you can't even approach them. But the men, they are ready to pick up a younger person, make the person a counselor. That person will be able to fight for him at the seat. All these appointments they are making, they're already positioning their people for 2023. So if we want to secure a seat politically, and we are not doing anything now, it will be very hard. That's why I just told myself I'm going to be unconventional. In this speech, we need to just talk to ourselves. Thank God we may have a question and answering time where we can discuss more. We need to, trash all these gender bias, all these stereotypes, all these challenges and obstacles we have identified over years. We have known them. We say, finance, gender roles, this one, they are all challenges. But now, how do we, get up and cross this bridge? How do we overcome these challenges? That is actually what matters. And it's until we overcome these challenges, we cannot secure our seats. So I discovered that one of the things African women need to do is to begin to affiliate with these men. We cannot do it alone. In fact, some of the men were helping me. They said, women are the enemies of themselves. He said, how many women voted for you? That women are the enemies of themselves. But I want to say from now moving forward, I've gotten a lot of support from women with all the programs I'm doing. So women are becoming aware, becoming conscious of what the reason or why they should support their fellow women. Even if it's your brother that is coming out, because it also happened during my time. We went for a campaign and it was sponsored by NDI. And I met a woman. She was also contesting. She was contesting for House of Assembly, and I was contesting for governorship. I was now telling her, you have to vote for me. She said, because I know that we are doing women for women, but I won't vote for you now. You have to allow my brother go first. Maybe next time. So you see, those kind of words are so discouraging. It goes to show that we are not even ready to fight for what we believe. After all this English and everything we are talking, and we ourselves as women are not ready to support ourselves, we still allow our sentiments of, we are biased about my brother is coming from my zone, he's not coming from my zone, then women will still continue to sit at the back seat. Yet women are empowered. They are so powerful to the economic growth of the nation. Any nation that a woman is not given a prime place, that nation will continue to go down, just like what is happening in Nigeria. Women are to be included, even in the peace negotiation, in every aspect of leadership in the country. Women are supposed to be part. And until they are given that space, things will continue to be the way they are. So how do we secure this seat? How do we come up in the face of violence, electoral violence, in the face of corruption, in the face of male dominance in the political space, in the face of lack of money, those challenges? How do we come up? We can start small. Let us go to the grassroots, begin to care for the needy, begin to do grassroots mobilization, begin to be part of what is happening in your community. Let it not end in Zoom meeting where we speak English and, go. As we finish speaking, let's go down to the people. They are the ones who will lead. They are the ones that will vote for us. They are the ones, even when it comes to appointing position, they are the ones that will recommend us. So when we do that, even on your own, when I was told by my chairman that I was chosen to to flag the party's flag for governorship. I said no. But I discovered that a lot of them fell in love with me during the time we were doing our meetings in the political parties. I could contribute money. I could come for meetings. I was just all out. All right. So don't go back. Don't say I have children. I have husband. Yes, those are gifts of God, but you should also look for a way, because those men too, whom you are contesting with, they have family, but they still find a way around it. So I'm encouraging an African woman today, if we must secure our seats at the table, we must come out from our shell. We must come out from those challenges, those things that put us down. Be part of the system. Begin to know what is happening around you. Listen to news. Meet the men. People have men mentors. Yes, they say politics is a dirty game, it's for prostitutes. That time I will tell them, call any man. If any man says I am prostituting with him, let him come out. I said, you can see that I'm even coming from a religious background to show you that politics, I just wanted to contest to make a point to my fellow women that it is possible. We have a lot of women. Look at our dear Dr. Eleanor that just finished delivering her speech so wonderfully well. We have a lot of women in our various countries in Africa that can lead in their countries in various positions and make impact. Make impact. Women will see to it that our children are gainfully employed. But the problem is we have not started. When they call for meeting, go for meeting. When they say it's at night, if you are married, beg your husband. That's what I do. Beg him, plead with him. Honey, can you allow me? Because you're already transparent. You're not hiding anything. And then let's begin to raise mentors. As we are as women, let's begin to raise mentors. Show them the right way. Those of you who have made it politically, who are in political positions, one political position or the other, bring them up, mentor them. Those you can support financially, support them. And of course, we are more in number. What are we doing with our numerical strength as women? We still end up clapping for these men, supporting them, and being comfortable with the peanuts they give us as a women affairs minister, women leader, gender affairs minister. Those are the commissioner. Those are the things we want. The crumbs that fall from the table. When actually we can, in some other developed countries, their women are already pushing for the top. So an African woman can rise to the top. An African woman can be a president, can be a governor, can be a local government chairman. The power is in our hands. Let's utilize our numerical strength. Let's utilize the fact that we are women with compassionate hearts. Let's utilize the everything in us that makes us women to get to that seat. If it's about acquiring education, acquire education. Even if you are there, if you go to the constitution, you can start from being a counselor, even when you did not go to school, so to say. You can start with local government chairman. But when we continue to stay aside and say, I'm not a politician, I'm not a politician, all those things people are doing, then you don't have rights to complain about what is happening. So I'm looking forward to an African woman who will stand tall politically, whether elected or appointed, but more of elected positions. A woman, an African woman, who, irrespective of what she's going through, will stand tall and begin to lead in any capacity possible. It is possible. We can do that. Let's forget all those challenges. We have known them. Gender discrimination, they are there. Even family responsibility. A woman that wanted to contest for governorship of Anambra State in Nigeria told me that she wanted, but she's pregnant. I said, who told you that being pregnant will stop you from contesting? That you can do it. You have to set up, do you know, when we were contesting, it got to a point that I needed agents at every polling station, every polling booth, and I could not because I needed money. I started calling on those people I've impacted in one way or the other. Those youths that have been following me up and down, I will call and say, your mama is, it's not more that time. You just call mama, I will bring out money and give you. Now I need you. Will you allow the other parties to buy you off because I did not give you money? Can you just do this for me? It's for our own. And your mother, I know what, we cannot overemphasize the importance of women in the society. And the men, they know all this, but it's just that they don't want to give us this power because power is not. And, I always say, if our system can also try a little to be favorable to women, it will encourage us to participate more in politics. Then women should start thinking of what to do to improve financially, because there's no way in Africa you can do politics, get to that seat without money. You need to lobby people. You need to give out. You must give. So it's a time of empowerment. I'm also looking forward to Aula, a kind of beginning a program of empowerment. You can empower women with skills. You can empower women with different opportunities that will help them to stand firm, so that in 2023 they will be able to come out, at least buy their form. In my party, they reduced our form to 100,000. So House of Assembly, other ones maybe 50, 20. Some of them could still not buy. Some women I brought could still not pay for that form. And that was how they missed it. So what are we saying? We need to be financially empowered. We need education. People want to know that this person that wants to lead them has something upstairs, has something to offer. We need to equip ourselves as women. We must secure that seat. We need to be friendly to everybody. We need to be at peace with people as much as possible. Go for consultations. All those things men are doing, do them. When I came on board, I was not really a politician. I didn't know much, but I asked questions. Say, how do they do it? You have to go and see this person. You have to go and I started going up and down, seeing them. Some of them I'll come, they will ask me to step down. I'll say, oh God, sir, this is not why I'm here. I came here so that you can support me. I want to see how that people have been complaining that this system has not been working. There is only a foolish man that will continue to do one thing over and over again and expect a different result. So that's why I said this discussion this afternoon, I didn't want it to be a normal presentation. I want it to be, let us bring it home to ourselves, because it will help us. What is applicable in Nigeria is applicable in other countries in other African countries. And we're talking about African women. How do we rise up? If you're comfortable with the level of women representation in leadership, I am not. We have known all our challenges, but let's push them aside. Let them not hinder us again. Let's move forward. If we begin to practice some of these things we are talking about, have a positive mindset, try to move out, go to the grassroots, begin to win them to yourself. It will come to a point they will say, if it's not this woman, nobody else will go in this community. If they are not choosing this woman, nobody else will go in this state. And you see people fighting for you, not because you have money, not because you have anything, but you have affected their lives in your own little way. And of course, this issue of no money, let us start saving. Let us start, galvanizing our strength. Anyhow, our number. With that, I'm hoping and believing that securing our seats as African women will be very much possible. Thank you so much. I believe I've not taken so much time, but maybe during the questions we'll begin to talk more. Thank you so much for having me. May God bless you. I can't see anyone. Or I should continue. I should go on. Okay. The president said I can go on. Hello. The presidency, I can go on. Yes, I want to just read out what I have here. How can we improve women's political participation? We have to support women for local elections. Let us have support for our fellow women. Don't antagonize them. Don't remind them that they are prostitutes. Don't remind them that their husbands are dead, they are widows. Don't remind them that they don't have anything to offer. Stop being among those who go out to clap for male politicians and collect money, collect salt, and dance around with them. Support women. We are to raise societal awareness of women's leadership capacity. You begin to profile women, begin to profile them. I was happy when Dr. Elena was talking, she made mention of Barrister Wabo. Begin to celebrate other women who are doing one thing or the other. Celebrate them. That is what men do. Small thing they will do to the church, they will announce it. So you need to start announcing whatever you are doing. Let people know. Don't say I'm a quiet type. If you must get to that seat, it's not for quiet people. So when you have done something, announce it. And when you see that it's a woman that did it, announce. That is what we do in League of Women Voters of Nigeria. Any little achievement of any woman, we begin to celebrate it. We begin to announce it. We begin to declare it everywhere. All right? Let the society be aware of what women are doing. We have to build capacity of female leaders. You know, why some of them will not even want to vote for us, that they will say, this one, what capacity does she have? So we need to build capacity of female leaders. All right? Some of those hindrances to women's political participation can also be challenged by awareness, sensitization, advocacy. Let's not stop. Every day, every now and then I'm on radio, we are talking about increase of women participation in politics. We cannot be tired of saying it because we have not seen, we are still very, apart from Rwanda and a few other countries, how many other countries can we post that we have, African countries that have more women participation, representation? Very few, just very few. And Nigeria is even the least of them all. We need to rise up, women. We need to rise up. And then we need to also hold our leaders, those that are already leading, hold them accountable to make sure that the system is fair. A lot of women suffer a lot. In fact, during my election, one of my agents was calling me. He saw what they were doing and he started videoing them, all the malpractices. And they seized his phone. They were trying to beat him up. I started calling police. This was how I was calling. I did not rest that day. I was calling from here and there. So if we continue to have this hostile environment, women may not be able to come out to participate. So what do? We need to hold these women. We need to, hold them accountable. Let them make policies that will favor women politically. Now we are talking about giving women some quotas, some seats. That is fine. It's one of the ways we can gain these seats. We can improve in our representation. But, men are not willing to do that. But if they do, fine. But let's start from our own. Let's start doing our own homework. Let's utilize our numerical strength. Let's support ourselves, have love for one another. If our sister Nena Oko is celebrating, let's follow, let's shout it. So let's loud. Look at beautiful profiles of great women here. Let's loud it. Oh, they are going to visit the motherless baby. We'll loud it. Those are the things the men are using. They are not using magic. They are not using charms. Those are the things. So what are you doing right now as we are preparing for 2023 and you have interest in contesting for one position or the other, or even to be appointed? You start now. Start mobilizing. Thank you. Thank you. Start mobilizing. Start improving on yourself. Build capacity. Start empowering yourself financially because you must spend money. I spent. By the time you have people who go around with your branded car, going up and you give them money. At every consultation visit you are doing, you are giving money. But that should not deter us from participating. Else we continue to complain and nobody is ready to give you power. So maybe during the question time, if anybody has anything I'll be able to answer. But we're also canvassing that some seats be reserved for women, in addition to the seats that they can contest with men. We're also canvassing that there should be female role models in leadership. That's the way men are having their godfathers. Let's have our godmothers. Then we're also asking, let women be media, go to the media, be friends with them. During our campaign season, they will tell me that they will invite some of the women that were contesting for one thing or the other. They will not come. Up till now, I will have a topic I want to discuss on radio. I will be looking for women that will follow me. So how would you, when you cannot talk, you cannot come out and talk? How will people, you want to be a leader with that cannot talk? So that is the problem. So because it is the media, it's always said that whatever is not reported did not happen. If we don't report this, our program, it did not happen, no. So you have to look for a way to put it on media, let them carry it. BBC, this one, that Aula had an International Day of Africa. That is how they will know that there's Aula. Aula is existing. So we must be friendly with the media. They are the ones that will carry. I thank God for so many of them in my own state. They really helped me. This newspaper, Vanguard newspaper, I don't know who wrote it, but I saw my name in the front page as one of the women, one of the 27 women that contested for governorship, over 70 women that contested for governorship in 25 states. And out of those 25 states, how many women emerged governor? None. And that is so sad, but we are not discouraged. We are emerging, we are coming up. We have noticed those hindrances. We have noticed the stereotypes and all that. We have noticed them. So we are strategizing. We're supposed to strategize and know how to move into the system and overcome. We must overcome. So once again, I want to thank you. Make the media your friend. Make the men too your friend. Those political giants, those of them who have already made it, those political godfathers, if it's possible, as they are getting political godmothers, get political godfathers as well. They won't help to project you. They won't help to bring you out. As you are doing that as an African woman, I'm seeing us getting to that seat in this time. Thank you once again for giving me this audience and opportunity. I really appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I can only hear myself. Hello. Hello. The moderator, do I still have time? Okay, I can still continue.
Okay, finally, I've been muted a long while. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Like we've all heard, it's not enough to say we want to achieve equal representation for women. It's not also enough to discuss the panacea for inequality, indignity, and insecurity. We must walk the talk. We must move. We must get involved. We must be part of the system. Once again, I want to say thank you very much, Ma. Before we go to our last topic for today, let me quickly ask that we drop our questions using the chat box. Immediately after the last topic, we would go into the Q&A session. So please do well to drop your questions if you have any. And so it's time to hear from our very own, the President, African Women Lawyers Association. She is
We can hear you.
Our own, a quintessential lady, Justina Egoyibo Amanda Asaba Ni Dimeji. She is a lawyer, human rights activist, gender researcher, mediator, arbitrator, private prosecutor, notary public, and international president of African Women Lawyers Association, the parent umbrella body of Aula country chapters founded in 1997. She is the president of Legal Pool for Justice and Equity Initiative and the immediate past president of African Women Lawyers Association Nigeria. Please let's make welcome our very own, the international president of Aula, as she takes us on the topic, the protection of women and children's rights, a call to action. Welcome, Madam President. Please unmute our speaker, host, please. Prof, please, if you can hear me, unmute our speaker. We're waiting. You've been unmuted, ma.
All right. Thank you, Madam Moderator. Thank you, everyone. May I sit on existing protocols because I'm sitting understanding. So even at that, I must appreciate the chairman of this committee, Madam President Aula Nigeria, the moderator, my co-speakers. Wonderful, wonderful, I must say. Oh my God. Where are the dollars and the pounds? I need to spray you guys. You've done a wonderful work. You spoke my mind. Seriously, I mean, I feel like giving you diamonds. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It means there is serious hope for Nigeria. There is hope for women. Thank you, guys. Yes, and to all our lands here present, all state coordinators, country reps, like I said, the past speakers all spoke my mind. When we're coming up with this program, one thing that struck me is the fact that women need to unite. We're talking about parity, parity, parity. Power, like both doctors talked about, is not given to anybody. You have to demand for power. You have to go all the way out to demand for that power. Give it all that it takes. And I believe that one way to getting things done for women, because of our numerical strength, is women coming together as one. Because if we don't come together, then we'll just be speaking English. I mean, that's what it is. We need to come together for us to be able to talk about parity. You can't be talking parities. I mean, as a woman, I'm talking parity, and another woman is saying, what does she think she's? Who the hell is she? Why does she think? I mean, we have to come together first and foremost. Because there's this saying that divided we stand, and united we stand and divided we fall. We can't do it alone. We need that collective action. We need that collective unison. We just need to be together. And one of the platforms of coming together is Aula as a body. Aula, for some time, women were just, I don't want to use the word that we're asleep, but we saw the need to wake women up. And believe that in the society of today, look at it everywhere, not just in Africa, all over the world. Who are the women that have been empowered to empower other women? Lawyers. So if we, the lawyers, are not standing together to impart our generation, then we must be a failure. And we don't want to be a failure, and we do not intend to be a failure. So we need to go that extra mile. That is why we are coming together. Gentlemen, the Day of the African Woman is celebrated every 31st of July. It is a day set aside to honor and celebrate not only the remarkable achievements of women, but also to advocate for gender equality in Africa and in the world. It's also a day for women and indeed all Africans to reaffirm their commitment to Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is the belief that people of African descent have common interests and should be unified. Now, I would say for the African Women Lawyers Association, is the belief that we as African women lawyers need to come together. We must unite if we must make any difference anywhere in the world. This is a day for women, African women, to assert their development and extricate themselves from discrimination, conflicts, violence, illiteracy, poverty, and diseases, which have sunk deeply through the meat of our progress and impacted on our development as a people on the continent. Unfortunately, Africa continues to soak in crisis and conflicts, some of which have resulted to placing women at the back burner. This notwithstanding, women will prove to be achievers by making significant advances and representing the front line of liberation. African women continue to empower themselves and strive for their rights, particularly gender equality. Because while Pan-Africanism is a philosophy and a movement to unify all Native Africans and people of African heritage, it is also aimed at promoting equal rights of all, including women and children. When we intentionally want to protect children and women, we must first identify the problems they both face before we can get solutions. And what are these problems? For children, their challenges may include domestic violence, sexual abuse, child labor, harmful cultural practices, family and government neglect, drug abuse, lack of health care, parental abuse, child labor, discrimination, stigma, homelessness of the street children and orphans, lack of child welfare system to cater for out-of-school children, and children living with disabilities, as well as the failure of the child justice system and justice system as a whole. For women, it has to do with economic exclusion, financial systems that perpetuate their discrimination, limited participation in political and public life, lack of access to good quality education, and poor retention of girls in schools. Coupled with the Boko Haram stuff, abductions in the schools, what do you expect? Of course, if I'm a mother living in that area in the north, I won't send my child to school. I'd rather teach that child at home rather than have been adopted and killed or maimed. Gender-based violence, harmful cultural practices, and exclusion of women from peace tables and decision tables are the major standing barriers to achieving gender equality in Africa and also in the world, I must say. Generally, issues are related to gender inequality, such as disproportionate levels of poverty and education, poor health, nutrition, lack of political power, limited workforce participation, gender-based violence, female genital mutilation, child sexual abuse, name it. And what are the solutions? For us at Aula, we believe that the solution is women sitting at the table. That is what we believe. Because when we're there, then we can make policies that will ensure that women are protected and our children are also protected. Continued commitment to promoting gender equality and empowerment of women. Almost all countries have ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. More than half have ratified the African Union's Protocol on the Rights of Women in Africa, the popular one, the Maputo Protocols. Other milestones include the African Union Declaration of 2010 to 2020 as the African Women's Decade. Also, commitments to the objectives of the African Charter, the African Children's Charter, Maputo Protocol, and the SDGs, which protect human rights of women and children in the continent. All this aligns with aspirations of Agenda 2030 and 2040. Now, how can we have all these laws, beautiful treaties, beautiful, all on paper, but is it impacting women as a whole? That is a question. Do we need women at the table to ensure implementation of these laws? Yes. Women, women, women. Replication of all these international commitments and conventions into our constitutions are relevant, into our relevant domestic laws. For we at Allah, we have seen that one thing is to ratify these laws, these international conventions, and that is to domesticate these laws, and another thing is to implement the laws. Now we have many beautiful laws, I must say, especially in Nigeria and most African countries. Beautiful laws on paper. Like the Maputo Protocol, that is one beautiful law. I love to read it like a Bible. It's awesome. It's like everything the woman aspires for, everything that the woman wants, everything that the child wants is there. And then you ask yourself, are we really practicalizing these laws? Are we testing these laws? Are they being implemented? Are they, and then you keep asking yourself these questions every now and then. So for us at Allah, we said to ourselves, okay, the ILO saw the need, they saw the importance of labor. And for that reason, they came up with recommendations that countries should apply monism in labor matters. Monism is an international principle of law whereby any international protocol or treaty or protocol that has been ratified by a nation can apply directly into your local national corpus juris. What it means that now that we ratified CEDAW, it means everything that CEDAW says, every law of CEDAW can apply in our national courts here in Nigeria. And that is beautiful. If they did it for labor law, that is why you have the National Industrial Courts. And that is why you don't have to follow your local laws, just straight to ILO recommendations, And then you get judgment, and people are getting judgment every day at the National Industrial Courts. So for the family courts, you ask yourself, if these laws do not apply automatically into our family courts, then we are still talking about the local laws. And that is why the police can decide which law now to charge who has paid so much money for justice. But if this international treaties that we've ratified can apply directly, then women will be protected. It means anywhere you are in Nigeria, you are protected. Anywhere you are in Africa, you are protected. Anywhere you are in the world. So for us in Nigeria, for us at Aula, we're saying if there's anything that must be done for women at this time, at this season, it is applying those treaties that have been ratified that that relates to women. Let them apply to us, couple juries directly, because domestication takes a whole lot of process. It takes it takes decades. So many of the ratified laws treaties were ratified like 10, 20 years ago. But till, as we speak, even when the federal has domesticated, the states will also take donkey years to domesticate these laws. So I tell you, if you come to Lagos, in child rights act, law is, of course they have structures in place, but you go to the next states, you'll be amazed that that's in child rights law that's in another state. They have not, they don't even have structures. And then you go to another state, they don't even have child rights law. So you cannot even talk about protecting the child in those states. So what are we talking about? Our strategies to promote women's participation in decision-making will also include engagement with national electoral systems and political parties to provide an equal playing field for women. By supporting leadership development, we assist women politicians in cultivating their skills, which they can in turn pass on to women in their various rural and urban commitments. No child or woman must be left behind. Dr. Alozie has said so much on this. Dr. Eleanor too has said so much on this. And then we're all saying the same thing. And that's what we're saying. We need laws to support, we need strategies and laws to at least give women the leverage. We also need, as women, to come together and ensure that we empower ourselves. Now we're talking about Aula as a body. You'll be amazed that even as we go out there in search of funding for Aula or sponsors for Aula, how many rich women have actually come to Aula to say, I'm supporting you? I'll just mention a few. Okay, but let's keep that for another so we don't, But it's so embarrassing that we have a lot of women who are millionaires and billionaires. And you would expect them to even call to say, okay, how can I assist you guys in carrying out this your great objectives for humanity? They won't do that. These are the problems. Respecting the growing integration of gender in national planning and budgeting helps to institutionalize these processes and strengthen the ability of women's movements and other NGOs to advocate for and monitor them. So we are talking about coming together as NGOs. We are looking at partnering with government institutions. We are looking at institutionalizing these processes to ensure that we talk about human rights defenders. We need protection for human rights defenders. We are talking every day in the press, anywhere we go to, we are talking. Some people don't like the fact that we are talking. And of course, our lives are really, really safe in the hands of the Almighty. That I will say, let's leave it at that. So we are talking about institutionalizing these processes to strengthen the ability of women's movements. So like my co-speakers talked about, it's not just about talking. It's time for action. And then for us, we also believe in that individual action. From that little corner of yours, you can get things done. We talked about women in politics. We talked about women aspiring for political positions and even positions of authority. You ask yourself, what are the other women doing to support these women? Seriously, that has been a very serious problem that we need to tackle in-house. I call it an in-house problem. When they say, oh, but women is more, I said, okay, we are working on that. Very soon it will change. And thank God, Dr. Anozie has really spoken on this. I mean, she's talking from experience. I've experienced the same thing. I don't want to, because everything she experienced what I experienced. So I don't want to repeat what she has said, because she has said it all. So it just, what actually came to me when she was saying, so this is real for everybody. So it's not just Mandy. So it's real. It's a women's problem. So we need to solve this in-house problem. I call it in-house. We can solve it within ourselves. Speaking today, Dr. Anozie, I know you have touched the hearts of so many on this platform and wherever this is going to go. And I know that as time goes on, women will continue, they will start to realize themselves and begin to celebrate what. And that is why Aula is actually taking this Day of the African Woman, giving the extra mile. We're going the extra mile to ensure that we bring women under this umbrella to unite and start, we need to start celebrating ourselves. No matter your achievement, be it as a housewife, you have succeeded, in being a wonderful housewife, we're going to celebrate you. Be a market woman and you have done well being a market, we're going to celebrate you. Wherever you are, in whatever field, be it engineering, anywhere you are, be it even in farming, any profession that a woman belongs. It's not just, we are lawyers, but we're not just limited to law, no. We are going all the way out. We're looking at empowering women anywhere, anytime, any day. So we'll go on broaden space for women's participation in peace processes. This is a process that we at Aula, we're looking at ensuring that we train as many women as possible in the mediation process. Most of the work we do here in Aula, most of them, going to court and all that, we realize that going to court is going to take donkey years. So we started exploring the mediation door, and it's been working wonders. So we settle more matters using mediation than going to the court. So we are looking at training as many women mediators as possible, not just lawyers. Mediation is a profession where anybody, anywhere in any profession can belong to. So we are exploring that. We're trying to train as many women in mediation, market women, doctors, and in any field, so that we can have enough women who are mediating and bringing peace and succor to the homes and the society. And also advocating gender equality. Gender equality measures how can we attain parity. This is very, very crucial. And I keep saying parity we can never achieve it waiting endlessly for people to come and give us parity. We have to go the extra mile to achieve and to attain parity. We have to give it all that it takes as women. Now, how can I attain parity in my profession as a female lawyer in the legal profession? At the MBA. By empowering as many women as possible to be at that decision-making table. How can I empower women in other areas, in other aspects, in the market and all that? Empowering them through sensitization, through advocacy. How can you empower the rural women? They must know their rights. They must know that they can do it. Like Dr. Anozie said, you must first of all believe that you can do it before others can believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, there's no way another person can believe in you. And then if we as women believe in ourselves, then that is when we are set to achieve parity. But if we don't believe in ourselves, like she's mentioned, women came telling her, but don't waste your money. I was told the same thing. And each time anybody said that to me, I just got him like, oh, okay, there's a problem here. If even we as women still do not believe that we can do it, then there's a problem. And this is a major problem to attaining parity. If we as women still have a problem believing in ourselves, then we have a long way to go. So this platform we are creating, Celebrating the African Woman, it's a platform for us to start advocating, like sensitizing women. We need to start illuminating, let them know that you have to first of all celebrate yourselves. If you have a friend, a lady who is going for any position, you don't celebrate her, all you do is talk her down, you have just told the other person that come. Women are not ready. oh, it's the birthright of men to rule us. It's our birthright. Seriously, it's our birthright. It's our right. We have the right, fundamental human rights to lead and to change the narratives. We need to change the narrative. And we have the intellect, we have everything you can think of. We even have the emotional strength to lead. What a woman can take, the shock absorbers that women have, men don't have it. We have so much, God has put in so much into us. So we really need to know who we are. We need to identify ourselves and know that, yes, we can do it. If we keep saying, oh, but she's a woman, oh, but she's married, oh, but what is all that about? One thing I tell people in our lives, no excuses for failure. No excuses. Don't tell me because, oh, you have to do school runs, that's why you cannot do your work. Hell no. You create the time. You know the time for school runs, you know when to do your work. Men don't give these excuses. So we need to stop. If we must be, if we must attain parity, we need to try to begin that. We have to start from somewhere. You can't be working in a place, in an office, and then every time you give an excuse, my mother is sick. My husband is sick. My son is sick. Every day. And then you want to attain parity under that condition? Hell no. But as a married woman, you and your husband, you're supposed to manage the family together. If today your son is sick, you take your son to us. Tomorrow, God forbid, another person says, honey, you know, I've been away from work for a while. Please, can you take charge? That's parity. That's parity from the home set now. So we need to start looking at it from that, how can I attain parity as a woman, as an individual, I as Mandy? How do I start working towards attaining parity? You know? You as Nena Uko, how can you start attaining parity for yourself? You as Efetomi, how can you? So we need to start from ourselves. Then in that environment, before you know, you are impacting as many people as possible without realizing it. So for everyone here, I must say, this is a clarion call for us to come together and unite, 1. 2, we have to be resolute about what we want as women. Do you want power? You got to go for this power. We've got the power. That's what I tell people. We've got it. God has given it to us. We've got the power. We've got the strength. We've got numerical strength. We've got everything. We are intelligent. I can't remember any of I can't even count how many I would say we are better than us as women when we're in school. So how come when it comes outside, they make us look as if we are that stupid? Hey, women, we need to start letting them know that, yes, we can do these things. They're not better than us. I keep using that word. I've never believed that any man is better than me all my life. Seriously. I don't even believe anybody better than me. That's my mindset. And that's the mindset I want every woman to have. Believe in yourself first. If you don't believe in yourself, it's not believing in you. Let's go on. We need to broaden the space for women participation in peace processes. We need to work to improve vital services for women in conflict and post-conflict areas. Like the IDP camps, what are we doing? Are we going that extra mile to see how we can help the women in the IDP camps? So many women are pregnant, they're not getting medication, they're not getting even that common, simple and antenatal, they're not even transferred to go to the hospital, they're not getting. What are we doing to empower such women? How about the young girls who don't get food to eat, who have to sleep with one man or the other, just to ensure that she gets food for herself and her mother or father or brother to eat? What are we doing in these areas? We're talking about parity, we have to start from somewhere. You know, towards ending violence against women and children, we must strengthen policies and laws against violence through strong advocacy. We need to keep advocating to ensure that perpetrators of crime against women and children face the wrath of the law. Can I shock you a little bit? Each time we have cases of violence, defilement of our young girls, the they force her to say, please, ma, it's the woman. The next one to say, please, ma, is the pastor in the church. The next person to say, please, ma, is the ballet. So where does that leave us? People should not take responsibility for their actions. Where does that lead us? Where does it take us as women? If we allow Mr. A to defy Miss C, and then we say because pastors prevailed on me, or the mother of the victim is saying, nah, don't worry, I don't want the shame. What are you doing? You are empowering the men to do more, because now they know that if they defy A, they will say, don't leave it. Defy B, and they'll keep defying. Before you know, you never know, it might be your daughter or your baby girl. It could be anybody. What goes around comes around. So we need to fight that. Enough of I beg, Ejo. He will not repeat it. No, let them take responsibility for their actions. In conclusion, while women are a source of economic vitality in developing countries and children are our future, discrimination hinders their opportunities and productivity. It truly hinders each and every one of us as women, even as we're speaking, as professional women talking right now as we speak, we are all going through one form of discrimination or the other. What I call it high-level discrimination is that bad. Every now and then, I see this since every day I'm angry. Just this afternoon, or no, this morning, driving out from my home, I was stopped by the police. And then the man, because I was a woman, you look at you, woman, you don't have respect. That's where he started from. But the men he stopped, he didn't say such to them. This is what we're talking about. So it's every day. We go through this every day. We have to keep fighting it. Of course, I stood there with them for 1 hour too. I had to educate them because I wasn't in a hurry. As much I was being caught, and the dilemma, I said, okay, if this is what I'm going to achieve today, let me let this man know that you can't just open your mouth and talk to a woman like that. So that took us another 1 hour of that part of the advocacy and sensitization. So women, from every corner that you are, please let's come together to fight gender discrimination. We must continue to support critical policy dialogues on gender equality. Quality education, very, very important. Availability of health care facilities, very, very important. Every day, a woman drops dead because she did not get the necessary health care services that she desired at the relevant time. So you are pregnant, you can't go for antenatal. What happens? She drops dead, and then the woman is gone. We need to empower ourselves as women. That is another key factor in gender equality. If you are not empowered, sorry, we have to work on empowering ourselves. It's very, very key to parity. As long as you cannot, support yourself, anybody can look down on you. This is society we find ourselves. Even your husband in your home, the minute that man realizes that if he doesn't give you money, you cannot move, of course you become a slave for life. But if the man knows that, my wife can afford anything, is it a house can afford? Is it a cash can afford? The man would think twice before he opens his mouth to talk to you. The man will be, so but at the same time, we tell women, do not say because you have resources or you have the means, then you should not respect your husband. Please, I'm not an advocate for disrespect at any point, because in my home, I see my husband as, after God, my husband. Anywhere I go to, I tell people that. So for people who think, oh, feminists don't respect their husbands, no, Mandy Asagba, I honor my husband. And every woman around me should, we all do that. All the women around me know that after God, it's our husband. So parity doesn't mean you should respect anybody. If you're not humble, you can't even talk about parity, because that is the key. You don't talk down anybody. I tell people, you can't even talk down on your house girl. If you're a woman who's talking about parity, you can't talk down on your house girl. So even though your house girl, she's impacting society with her assisting you in that home. She's not going to take care of your children. You can't go anywhere. So give her due respect and honor her. Honor your husband. We can we can easily attain parity if we truly honor our husbands. We honor men around us. So it's not that because we're talking about parity that we should respect any man. No. Parity is not about being disrespectful or being arrogant or anything. No, that is not parity. Like the policeman that cursed the hell out of me. I didn't start by cursing him back. I didn't even curse him. All I said, oh God, take it easy. Oh God, I beg you, take it easy. I started with that. So every other officer, they were like, they were expecting madam to start shouting on the man. They didn't see that. So at the end, I was able to get his attention. So women, it's our time. Women, we can rule the world. And we can only rule the world by, I use the word, confidence shrouded in humility. You have the confidence, you have everything, but you're still very humble. You know, you let them know that, okay, I've got a lot up there. And at the same time, you're very humble about it. You know, so we're talking about access to justice. This is very, very fundamental. You talk about law and people don't have access to justice, then there is no law. Forget it. So access to justice is very, very critical to attaining parity. Very, very, so even attaining development anywhere in the world, access to justice is one area we need to harmonize our time and our resources to ensure that every Nigerian woman and every African woman has access to justice. We at Aula, actually we have gone the extra mile. We have done in such a way that every woman that comes to us, we have money, don't have money, we're assured that you get justice. We go the extra mile. We take it through all the way. We don't turn anybody back. Justice we must get for any woman, for any child. We don't charge a kobo, we do a pro bono. What I call FOC, free of charge, free access to justice from our lands. We're also talking about the marginalized, the vulnerable groups. We're looking at inclusion. We have to include them. The fact that somebody is handicapped should not make anyone look down on anybody. We have this, what I call the all-inclusive approach to service. Here, if you're handicapped, we even come to your home. We don't say you must come to the office if you're that handicapped, and we know there's just a way you can come. So many have gone to their homes to do that. Ordinarily, under the ethics, we're not supposed to go to a client's home. But we do that in Aula when we see that there is need for us to go that extra mile to give them, to get them access to justice. We are looking at partnership with stakeholders, collaboration with national, regional, and international organizations, which will be of great advantage to women and children. So under the umbrella of Aula, we are going the extra mile, collaboration, partnership. Like I mentioned at one of the seminars, if tomorrow we have a crisis situation in Nigeria and our fellow Aulans in other countries in the world come together and say we are going to fight for these women in Nigeria, don't you think we're going to win? Of course we'll win. If women, okay, like we have over 40 country reps in Aula. So imagine if 40 of them, 40 different countries write, sign, and send to Abuja. They don't move. The next thing they are in the press, talking in CNN, talking everywhere. Then something will happen. So women, we need to come together. We must unite. We must unite. And unity is what we are preaching at this time. This is the only way we can stand tall. This is the only umbrella under which we can have that strength to push the barriers. It is a call for collective involvement. This is a task we must intentionally and deliberately choose to do. We choose to challenge. We choose to unite. Thank you, Aulans. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, our quintessential international president. We're grateful, ma.
Thank you.
So, like we've all heard, no excuse for failure if we must attain parity. So if you've been making excuses, it's time to stop making excuses. Thank you once more, ma. So quickly we'll go to, thank you. We'll go to the Q&A session. And to do that, would be Teddy Idiabeta. I hope I didn't bother the name. He would take over for the Q&A. Good to know we have a man amongst us, celebrating us as women. So, sir, are you ready? Prof, are you ready?
Hello?
Yes, Prof, we can hear you.
Yes, okay. Can I continue?
Please go on, sir.
I want to see you, please.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. Technically, I am the, yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
We can
Good
hear
afternoon,
you.
everybody.
Go on, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, okay. Well, I want to say that this is a wonderful session. The topics have been very much well dealt with. We have some questions, from some of our participants, and I think we have 4 of them here. One of the questions is, where are Nancy Pelosi's? Where are the Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Where are the women? Where are the women who will be the conscience of our nations, of our nation? Where are the people? Where are the women fighting for a better, the well-being of our children and our children after now? Can women gather together to build for the betterment of all? These are a lot of the questions that have actually come up during the chat session, and so I want to hand over to the moderator to actually moderate this particular questions and answer session. So moderator, over to you.
I just wanted to hear the question, and you have asked it. It's a poser and food for thought for us all. I believe.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I believe that the question has been answered. I believe that every speaker that has spoken here weighed in on that question. So it is food for thought. I do not think that this is a question that requires us repeating what we need to do. As it is, we already have women who are standing tall for other women. We already have women who are lending their voices for the voiceless. We already have women who are bold, like our Excellency in Waiting, Nena Nozie, and women who are bold like Eleanor, like our presidents, our Ola presidents, Ola International and Ola Africa, Ola Nigeria, and what have you. We have women who are standing tall. So it is food for thought for every woman here. And it doesn't matter where you are, what stage you are in, you can always start. For like they say, when you know better, you do better. So let us start from wherever we are. All right, thank you so much. We will go back to our beautiful moderator so she can introduce the next item on the agenda, which is the vote of thanks, because I know we're already out of time.
Out of time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairperson. So for the vote of thanks, quickly, would have Alan Bibian Aloba take the vote of thanks.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's been an impactful event. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your time with us. First and foremost, my heart is filled with lots of gratitude and respect for our distinguished guest speakers, Dr. Nwadinobi and Dr. Anozie, for not only sparing their invaluable time for us to grace this event, but also for enlightening us with their commendable presentations. Thank you very much for enriching our understanding and charging us to do more by walking the talk. And we promise to do more, really. Our sincere appreciation goes to Mrs. Asaba, Mandi Asaba, President Aula International, for that awesome presentation. Thank you, Ma. You've told us that there's no excuse for failure, and we are going to walk the talk. Also, our hearty thanks goes to Efe Etomi, President Aula Nigeria, for that powerful goodwill message. Thank you for always supporting us. We appreciate you richly, Ma. You've told us also that women run the world, and will continue to run the world. To my teammates, no event can be successful without people who dedicate their resources and time to make sure everything is faultless. My teammates, the committee chair, Nen Nawoko, our Southeast coordinator, I want to thank you specially for your leadership qualities as well. And then my teammates, thank you very much. We've done a wonderful job. I have to let's pat ourselves. Let's behave like Agama lizard and then, tell ourselves that we've done well. Yes. Lastly, I appreciate all our zonal coordinators, our state reps, all our lands for being available, for your support. Our participants, we thank you also. Our moderator, Professor Jerry, thank you very much for being the tech chief for this event. And our co-host, Atinuke, I cite you, I see you. Our co-moderator, Gloria, I can see you, I cite you. Thank you so much for your efforts. Indeed, I thank everyone for your efforts. Indeed, it has been an unforgettable event. And I really thank everyone. On behalf of every Aulan, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you all.
God bless you too, ma. And so it's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we hope to see you next time. Have a good and wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you all, and thank you to our guest speakers. To the team, I say very special thank you. God bless.